Charles Walgreen was just 6 years old when President's Day was first observed in 1879. At our first company headquarters building at 744 Bowen Avenue, just around the corner from our first store, Charles' office did not have many decorations. He had a desk and several leather-covered chairs for guests. On one wall, there were several early store photographs, and on another one hung painted portraits of two of his heroes, Abraham Lincoln and Theodore Roosevelt. Dixon, Illinois, where Charles grew up, had been founded in the 1830s by John Dixon, who kept a tavern and ran a ferry across the Rock River. He also supplied goods for Fort Dixon soldiers there in 1832. Abraham Lincoln had been stationed in Dixon, Illinois as captain of the town regiment. There is a statue of the 23-year-old Lincoln, the only one depicting him in military dress, at President's Park along the Rock River where Fort Dixon once was. Just up the river is Hazelwood, an estate of 150 acres of heavily wooded land outside Dixon, atop the bluffs overlooking the Rock River, and had played host to celebrities and political figures like Abraham Lincoln in his pre-presidential years, and he stayed there in a log cabin. Charles and Myrtle would purchase Hazelwood in 1929, and it's still in the family to this day. Sadly, the Lincoln log cabin burned down in the 1980s. When visiting Hazelwood, Charles would sometimes spend time playing golf at the Dixon Country Club. One of his caddies was a youngster named Ronald Reagan. In September 1941, Dixon celebrated Luella Parsons Day. Parsons had graduated from Dixon High School in 1901 and had since become a Hollywood columnist. Parsons brought several Hollywood celebrities, including Ronald Reagan. All of them stayed at Hazelwood, said Myrtle, noting that they had a hilarious time. Myrtle and Ronald became real friends. In her 1963 autobiography, written before Reagan entered politics, Myrtle recalled Ronald had great fun when he came to Hazelwood on one of the picnics we gave for the caddies each year, and I brought him his plate of food while he lay in the hammock. That was his idea of being a king. Ronald and Nancy would return to Hazelwood at Chuck Walgreen's invitation in 1978 during Reagan's presidential campaign. Reagan wrote to Chuck, "Nancy and I are still talking about the reunion and, most of all, the wonderful overnight stay we had at beautiful Hazelwood. Thanks to you." A statue of Ronald Reagan stands at Heritage Crossing next to the Rock River and 2 blocks from our first store in Dixon, Illinois, right across the river from the Abraham Lincoln statue.